Almost here at the end of the week. Friday's almost here, and it was a bit of a cloudy one out there today.
Yeah, it was for sure, but not like last night where we were just getting poured on. We looked ridiculous outside. But I'm Daniel McFarland.
And I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan. We're going to be recapping all the rain that came through our area last night. You definitely saw that with the severe thunderstorm warning that we had here on campus.
Definitely, and I know when I opened up my door last night just to look outside, the rain was coming inside my apartment, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, the winds were swirling out here near the studio. The winds were rough. We even had down in Perry and points east of our area here, we had winds gusting almost up to 70 miles per hour, which can cause some damage, and there were confirmed reports of some trees down and power outages.
They did. There were some power outages around our area, too. And some of those winds actually broke records yesterday, if you believe that.
Yeah, the winds were crazy. The squall line that came through associated with this low pressure in front, they're starting to pass on through now, and we're going to be saying goodbye to those rain chances. But for now, we're pretty cloudy, and we're really cold, too.
Yeah, we were really cold, and, you know, it's not as cold as you think it'd be after a front, because this was kind of a wetter front. And then when you look at the water vapor imagery later on in the show, you do see that it's not totally dry behind this front, which is why it's not as cold right now.
Absolutely. But we're going to be bringing it back here to Tallahassee to tell you what's going on across the rest of our region here with our overview with Ayesha.
Thanks, guys. So all that cloud cover that was here is moving a little ways out of our area. It's still going to be here, and all that rain is moving out of our area as well. So looking at tonight's forecast, 40 degrees, cloud covers clearing tonight, and the winds are at 5 miles per hour. So that's pretty low. The winds are leaving, and the clouds are leaving with it. And for our next segment, our weather headlines, you can see another cloudy night ahead, but they're leaving, clearing tomorrow, and 80 next week. That's great. Make sure you go outside on that Monday. That 80 is going to be great. So taking it back to the desk with Matt and Daniel.
Well, she said near 80 for us next week, but up in the north, they're not feeling that right now with temperatures extremely low right now.
They're not at all. We are really the jealousy portion of the United States. People are jealous, at least portions of South Florida. It's so cold in portions of the Northeast, near Nantucket actually, that the water is freezing, and we've got a bit of some slushy waves.
That's right. You know, if you watch this often enough, you know that we sometimes talk about surf reports and waves and stuff like that. But this is one you probably don't want to go on because it's starting to freeze, and these waves are about 2 to 3 feet high, and they're just gonna it's just ridiculous looking.
It's horrible conditions to go out in if you feel like freezing. The waters are so cold that it's kind of like a little ice chunky mix there in the oceans, and they look like slushies. So it's not the best ideal conditions for surfing, and you're an expert at that.
Yeah, and it definitely would hurt because, you know, even if you had a hood on and booties, you still have these little particles of ice hitting you in the face. Every time you went underneath the wave, that would just be miserable.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like anything I want. I'm going to go home for spring break where it's 85 degrees and swim in the ocean, and it's going to be great. But unfortunately, our friends in Nantucket, they're not feeling the warmth very much at all. But we're going to bring that down here to Tallahassee once more with our first local with Kendra.
Well, much of Tallahassee was covered in clouds today thanks to some leftovers from the storm system last night. We have another cloudy night ahead. Tomorrow it's going to be clearing out a little bit as that low pressure system has moved out of the area, and there will be we're going to have temperatures near 80 degrees next week, which is really exciting. It's kind of a little precursor to our spring break. Right now around the area, it's Tallahassee has 50 degrees. Monticello is 50 degrees as well, down a little bit warmer in Apalachicola. Now here's the real story. Down in Miami, it's still 80 degrees because that storm system that we saw last night still has not moved through their area yet. Looking at the satellite and radar, here's the storm system from last night going through Miami and the southern peninsula. Tallahassee is staying pretty clear. We had much of the clouds break up. And looking tomorrow afternoon, there's still a little bit of passing clouds, but going into Saturday, we're going to have some storms come back, so enjoy that clear weather tomorrow while you can. Here's our headlines again. It's, again, another cloudy night, clearing warmer tomorrow, and near 80 degrees next week. Tonight, it's going to be 40 degrees. The clouds are going to be clearing out, light wind, only 5 miles per hour. On the sand, tomorrow's forecast is going to be 62, lots of sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful end to your week. And then looking into our 7-day forecast, so here's our mild temperatures Thursday, Friday, and then going into Saturday and Sunday, it's going to start warming up a lot. 71, 77, 78 on Monday. That's getting really warm. Now we're going to look at the southeast with Daniel, right?
Yes, thank you so much. And we take a quick look at local, and then we like to spread it out a little bit and look all around our area. You see currently right now, 50 degrees in Tallahassee and cloudy. Pretty much cloudy all around the southeast. Looking up in Atlanta, sitting there at 38 degrees. Getting a little bit better for them. It did snow there the past few days, but Miami's still real lucky here at 80 and Key West at 78, so that's really nice for them down there. Well, 24-hour temperature change. We haven't seen too much change here in Tallahassee, but if you look over at Savannah, they're up 11 degrees, which is really, really nice for them, but it will be dropping down at some point for them pretty soon. So pretty much staying about the same all around, just not too big of changes there. Satellite and radar, you see we are pretty much all clear, just some cloud cover, and you see that this dead front is being pushed off past Orlando right now. And if you look right behind me, there is some snow coming, but that won't be in our area at all. So snow people, I'm sorry to disappoint, it's not going to head our way anytime soon. But go ahead and move on to the water vapor. And like I said earlier on the desk with Matt, that when that front came through, it was wet behind it, not a whole lot of dry air. You see that? It's still kind of moist back here, not a whole lot of dry air there. So it might have a chance of rain later on, just as Kendra showed you earlier. But we're going to go ahead, though, and look into what the rain situation is right now. You see not a whole lot going on, really just some clouds moving on through, and as you saw over by Dallas, they are getting some snow. And as we look further south into the state, you see Miami's cloudy, but expecting some rain later on for them. And looking up at Atlanta and South Carolina over there, they are all clear. And as we move into the future cast and what we can expect over the next few hours, you can see here on Thursday that this front's just really going to push off the bottom coast there. You're going to see that snow behind me moving on into Arkansas. And if we go back over here and look at what's going to happen, there's that messy little mix right there you saw. It's going to probably leave and they'll get some rain. So they'll have some snow, rain, and some mix there over in East Texas. And as you see by Saturday night, it looks a little bit white around the area, so we could have some showers then, but it's a little bit too early to say that for right now. Tonight's forecast, we're going to see a low of 45, so we're not too far off from that right now. Looking further north, Atlanta's going to be at freezing. Tupelo and Little Rock are going to be both in the 20s. So if you find yourself up there, if your family's up there, make sure to tell them to cover up those plants and pool pumps and everything like that that can freeze, just so it doesn't get too messed up there. Further down south, 64 for a low in Orlando. Very, very nice temperatures. So if you do find yourself in one of the parks down there, it's a perfect night there. Looking even further south, you see 70s in Key West and Miami. And as we get into tomorrow's, you're going to see 59 in Tallahassee, 45 in Atlanta, unfortunately for them, 46 in Montgomery. Pretty much all in the 40s up along this line. As you move further south, it's going to get a lot warmer. You see in Miami's 85, Key West 82. And now real quick, we're going to throw out a surf forecast that is not frozen. Along Panama City and over in Pensacola, you can see 3 to 4 feet over the next couple days. And if you go find yourself on the East Coast, they're going to be up also, about 2 to 3 over the next couple days, and jumping up 4 to 7 potentially for them there. But if you get closer down to Miami, like down Deerfield Beach or Boynton Inlet, they're not going to be up at all. So unfortunately for them, the Bahamas shadow is over them. Not a whole lot of surf coming in right there. Well, as far as Georgia and South Carolina goes, if it's not too cold for you, it will still be pretty good up there also. Well, here's a last look at your tomorrow's forecast. Like I said, 59. We do have some rain down in Orlando. That's just about it. But to bring it up north, we're going to see what's going on in Chicago.
Hey, so Brandon, you told me that you're from Chicago, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm from outside of Chicago. It's actually pretty chilly right there all the time, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How much snow are they getting?
About 1 to 3 inches. It's not too much for Chicago, but it's still cold, especially with the wind coming off the lake.
Oh, so wind chills are happening.
Oh, yeah, it gets really cold.
That's bad.
In negative temps, actually, for some areas.
That's crazy.
It really is.
Well, I'm from Georgia, and I know that, they had, like, ice coming in through the snow and storms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure they took them by surprise because Georgia's really not really familiar with that.
Yeah, so they went to a state of emergency and closed down a lot of schools in that area.
Oh, really? Like which schools?
Georgia Tech, UGA, even Georgia State.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, so
a lot of schools.
Yeah, it must be nice not having school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But we can send it back to Shane for the national.
We'd had a very cold day around the country across much of the continental United States. Here in Florida, we've been in the 50s in Tallahassee for most of the day, only at 50 degrees right now. But up to our north, those temperatures are well below freezing. Memphis is just breaking freezing at 31 degrees. Minneapolis is down to 9, Detroit at 15. So it's been a very chilly day across most of the continent, except Phoenix is at 75 degrees there in the southwest, and Miami is capping off the charts at 80 degrees right now. So with all those cold temperatures, we have a lot of wintry weather across the country to speak about today. We've got a lot of snow around Denver, making its way into Texas, and that's going to be our next big weather maker after a beautiful weekend. And then the Northeast is feeling the effects of the northern half of that low pressure system that drenched us with those severe storms yesterday. Let's focus in on Boston right now, where they are getting yet another set of snow showers that they really don't want up there. There's a little town called Buried, Massachusetts that's really living up to its name right now. We've got snow showers moving across much of the eastern half of Pennsylvania, a little ways north of the New York metro system. And then turning our gaze out west, near Chicago, as they were just speaking about at the desk, they've got lots of snow showers moving steadily to the southeast with an increased chance of wintry precipitation there, making travel rather hazardous across that part of the region. And turning to a different part of the country altogether, this is that low pressure system near Albuquerque that's moving across northern Texas and bringing a lot of snow to the southern Great Plains there near Amarillo, Texas. And that's the one that we want to pay attention to because that's going to be moving into our region. We can already see the bands of clouds making their way past Little Rock into Memphis over North Alabama. Those are signs of the next frontal system that's slowly making its way into our region. Here we've got a breakdown of what has happened and what's yet to come. This low pressure system out to sea, dragging that cold front along the peninsula of Florida, that's finally getting out of our way. And then we're going to have a few clear days to follow that before the next low pressure system brings in yet another cold front with another chance of precipitation. Let's talk about that with this futurecast map. Here we've got from snow in Chicago to wintry mix near St. Louis and rain down there in Little Rock. This system is going to make its way steadily eastward across the country. And check out how by the end of the weekend, a cold front begins to take shape, and we've got a band of showers moving across the southeast. That's going to be on our doorstep by Sunday, and then coming to Monday, that precipitation begins to take shape over our region, bringing us a chance of rain and continued snowfall out to the mountainous west. So giving you some numbers for tonight. Well, there in Minneapolis, they're not just sub-freezing, they're sub-zero, coming in at a low of -5 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 in Billings, 45 in Seattle. The warm spot here where everyone seems to wish they could be is Miami, sticking out like a sore yellow thumb there at 74 degrees. And then tomorrow we're going to warm back up to some beautiful temperatures here in Florida, 85 degrees in Miami, 59 in Tallahassee, but only 6 degrees in Minneapolis. Now for a look around the local, let's hand it off to Kate.
Thanks, Shane. And we won't see any really cold temperatures for us, but we do have those clouds right now, but that's going to be slowly moving out through the night, and we're going to see actually some sun tomorrow, which will be a nice change after the past few days. The temperatures right now around the area, we're 50 degrees here in Tallahassee, and we're seeing really similar temperatures around us. 51 in Monticello, 46 in Quincy, so it's a bit cooler, and we're seeing 52 down in Apalachicola. But for 24-hour temperature change, since this time yesterday, we've only seen a 2-degree difference, which is actually not as bad as Apalachicola, who actually saw 7 degrees, which is probably because they saw a lot of cloud coverage today, a little bit more than we did. Current temperatures in the bigger area for the southeast, 50 again in Tallahassee, 43 up in Montgomery, so it's a little bit cooler up in the north. But if we look down to our south where Orlando and Tampa is, Orlando is seeing 67 and Tampa 59, so they're a bit warmer than we are. So I'm a bit envious of them on that. Current winds, we are seeing winds coming from the north, which is why we're probably feeling a little cooler outside than we are what the actual temperature is. 10 in Tallahassee, and again up in Bainbridge, and we're seeing 7 in Apalachicola. Futurecast, we can see the clouds that we're seeing right now and that system that we got yesterday from all that rain, which is moving off the coast. We put this into motion, we can see those clouds moving out of the area, and we're going to see that sun tomorrow. Tonight's forecast, 40 degrees, so those clouds are going to clear out, and we're going to see 40 in Tallahassee, 30 up in Bainbridge, and a little bit warmer in 44 degrees for Apalachicola. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to see that sun. Temperatures are going to get a little warmer, 62 in Tallahassee, so it'll be nice for us. We can enjoy the sun a little. 58 Bainbridge, 60 in Carabel, 59 Apalachicola. So we're really going to remain in the upper 50s, lower 60s. 5-day forecast. Again, 62, and we'll see that sun for tomorrow. But Friday, we're going to see maybe a little bit of clouds. But as we go through the weekend, the temperatures will get warmer. And on Monday, we might even get close to 80 degrees, which will be really nice. And I'm going to send that off to the desk.
That Monday looks really nice with a high of 78, right?
Yeah, it is. And I can't wait for this weekend. Finally, Thursday, the weekend's coming in.
I know. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Did you hear what happened last weekend?
No, tell me more.
There was a meteor that was seen all the way from Augusta, Georgia to West Palm Beach. That's 540 miles.
That's amazing. I know our viewers would love to hear more about it.
Yeah, I mean, like 100 people saw it, and it actually went into our lower atmosphere, so there's a sonic boom. Like loud enough for like I think 100 people heard it too.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was wild. It was able to be seen. I think actually some fragments were found near Jacksonville.
Really?
So, yeah, it was.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool sight. Yeah.
So that means it survived the lower atmosphere, coming into the atmosphere,
yeah,
right?
because it came down to the atmosphere, and so it was able to that sonic boom shows that it kept passing through each atmosphere.
That's
so
crazy.
the fact that we were able to hear it just shows how close it was.
Right.
And how, close we were to having like a meteor just crash.
That's amazing.
It's really cool.
All right. Well, we'll send it back to the wall.
All right, thank you guys. We're going to take a look at what's going on around the rest of the Sunshine State. It hasn't really been keeping up to its name here in our area today, but if you move on down to the lower part of the peninsula, look at this, 80 degrees down in Miami. The entire show here at FSU Weather is very envious of that 80-degree spot because, well, we want to go to the beach, and our folks down in Miami, they can do that. But here across the capital city area, we're sitting at 50 degrees right now. That cloud cover is training in across the peninsula, the northern part of the peninsula. You see down here these indications, Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, even all the way down to the West Palm. The cloud cover is sticking around, unfortunately, for the next few hours or so. But that'll be changing here over the next day. But let's look at that water vapor to see where we've been and where we are going. Here's all of that moisture that's passed through our area last night, starting to push on down the peninsula. Down here in Miami, a couple of spotty showers we're seeing, a couple of bolts of lightning in the air as well, but nothing too crazy right now. That front that is currently sitting near Lake Okeechobee, that's going to stall out and unfortunately bring a little bit of moisture back on north a little bit towards the center part of the peninsula. But for our winds across the peninsula right now, down in Miami and West Palm, you're seeing those gusts up really high, almost to 20 knots. And that 20-mile-per-hour range is really something to be careful of if you are going to the beach, as we said a little bit earlier, because the rip currents are really, really dangerous down in Miami. So if you are heading out to the beach in the lower southern parts of the peninsula, be very careful that you don't get caught in a rip current. And if you do, then just swim parallel to shore to get out of that rip current. Also a small craft advisory as well if you're heading out boating down there because the boating conditions are a little bit rough. But let's look at our satellite and radar because you see really clearly where that front is just sitting right across the peninsula associated with the cloud cover. That line of storms was backing just far south, and that'll stall out overnight tonight and start to move on north. So those rain showers and the cloudy conditions will stick around a little bit in the southern part of the peninsula. And we had our clouds cover as well here in Tallahassee, keeping it rather cool today, really downright cold for this kind of year, at least during the day. But let's look at those futurecast temperatures for the entire state because we're sitting chilly here at 7 p.m. across the state. The rest of the state, you're looking really nice down in the 70s. And as we push on into the overnight hours and into our Friday, it's the end of the week. Get ready, well, 34 degrees. Not really feeling too great, but if you keep watching, we might be sneaking in those 80s later on in the beginning of the week next week. Rebounding nicely to our daily temperature here, 58. Not too cold, not too warm. I personally like down in Miami. Look at 75 degrees. It's beautiful weather down there. And as we move on into the overnight hours on Saturday, it's looking like another 40-degree night here across Tallahassee. So now let's see what's going to be happening tonight. 45 degrees in Tallahassee. The rest of the state is in the mid, upper 60s and low 70s. And then into Friday's forecast, we're looking at tomorrow. Look at that. the 85-degree mark in Miami and Key West is looking really nice. I'm going to let you take a really good close look at these temperatures right here, because the 50s and the cloud cover is going to be sticking around in our area up here in the northern part of the peninsula. And then in the southern part, we have beautiful beach weather, but as I said before, it's going to be choppy out there. But now we're going to send it back to the studio where Zach has a special report.
Hey, thanks, Matt. And as we did see severe weather yesterday, up north, they got yet another dose of snow. The Virginia Tidewater and northeastern North Carolina area got up to a foot of snow in some areas, and we have your special report. Another day of tricky travel across the Northeast as yet another storm system barreled past, dumping another layer of snow across the mid-Atlantic states. This time the bullseye was centered on southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. Snow began to fall Wednesday afternoon and continued on to the day on Thursday. Emily Michalski, a local lifelong resident of Yorktown, Virginia, says the storm dumped nearly another foot of snow in her backyard.
It started about midnight and it's actually still snowing right now.
It's still snowing right now, really? Yeah. I'm assuming it's a lot less snowfall. It's not as heavy as it was, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not as heavy. It's more like flurries right now, but it's still coming down.
The snow continued into the day on Thursday as the storm system roared its way up the eastern seaboard, bringing more snow to parts of the I-95 corridor that would rather not see additional accumulations. Boston has been hit the hardest so far this season, being only 5.4 inches of snowfall away from breaking their all-time seasonal snowfall record. Meanwhile, out to the west of the Tidewater, a small disturbance aiding in dumping some light accumulations of snowfall in areas of Roanoke and Blacksburg. And while Hampton Roads continues to dig themselves out of this wintry mess, another mess is arising in school cancellations. Emily says that these snowstorms continue to come in each week, and they have cost the area about 5 missed days of school, and the county and surrounding cities now have to scramble to find out how to make up for their lost time.
Yeah, they definitely have. There has been talk on the news of possibly extending the school year or maybe extending the school days to make up for all the snow days that they've had.
But while school is still out, you might as well take your time and enjoy the wintry wonderland. And guys, that snowfall is actually going to continue to inhibit travel across the Tidewater and northeastern North Carolina areas. Schools have been closed already for tomorrow. School closings continuing into tomorrow and even a few into Monday and Tuesday. This snowfall is not going to let up anytime soon, and areas up north, even farther north in the I-95 corridor, including New York City and Boston, are going to continue to see some travel problems as this system moves out of the area. For 4FSU Weather, I'm Zach Covey.
Thanks, Zach. And we've had some pretty exciting weather down here, too, in a special event at the National Weather Service here in Tallahassee.
That's right, Shane. Yesterday, the weather balloon launched by the National Weather Service right here in the Love Building in Tallahassee it was the 28,000th balloon that we've launched. It's a pretty amazing feat, I must say.
Yes, twice daily adds up quite quickly. And it wasn't just any sounding. This one recorded those severe thunderstorms that rattled our windows here in Tallahassee.
That's right.
And it caught this really amazing wind gust that pushed it far away to our east. It was received about 100 miles away from Tallahassee.
Really? Wow.
Yes, and with balloons that are meant to go straight up, that really just goes to show the force that we saw with this system with winds of 71 miles per hour up at 4,000 feet.
That's quite an amazing feat, Shane.
Yes, and we had lots of damage here on the ground as well. I know that we all had a lot of thunder and lightning and some stronger winds off to our east that produced numerous damage reports that we received here in Tallahassee today. And now we're going to throw it out to the wall for our last local with Katharine.
Good evening, Tallahassee. We're coming up off of a very severe weather night to have a pretty calm day. Today you can see our high was 56, our low was 46, which is actually a lot lower than the average and even the record. The record was 84, and that was met in 1930. So as you can look at our satellite and radar, we're looking at pretty clear conditions. You can see a little bit of cloud cover coming over our area. And just below, this is moving through today around 6:20 p.m., so currently, and that was all through this morning. Our temperatures right now, we've got 50 in Tallahassee, getting up into the mid to high 40s in Bainbridge and Mariana, and going all the way down to 52 in Apalachicola. We'll be seeing that changing a lot over the weekend and even into next week. So as we see our wind, a little bit gusty. We've got 10 miles per hour in Tallahassee, 7 in Bainbridge, and 7 in Apalachicola. So Tallahassee is really the high point of our wind in the Big Bend area, so that is an interesting place to be right now. As we look at our dew points, you can see we've got 40 in Tallahassee, going up into 32 and 27 even in Meridian. So it's getting pretty low. Tallahassee is a pretty stable place to be, but even down in Orlando and in Tampa, you can see we're getting into 56 and even 50 degrees. For tomorrow, or even in tonight, around 8 o'clock p.m., we'll be seeing 50 degrees in Tallahassee. The coldest we'll be getting in the area is 49 in Mariana, going all the way down to 53 in Apalachicola, so that's not too bad, pretty mild for tonight. And as we move in through tomorrow, early morning we're going to see pretty cold, below 30 temperatures in Mariana, 30 in Bainbridge, 34 in Tallahassee, and Apalachicola will be sitting warm for the area at 42 degrees, so that's pretty solid. And then we're moving through Friday. It's shaping out to be a beautiful day tomorrow, so make sure that you enjoy the outdoors. Take yourself out to Landis and enjoy the sunshine. Tonight we'll see our clouds clearing out, winds at 5 miles per hour, and again, pretty consistent temperatures all the way throughout the Big Bend area. Tomorrow, like I said, you better get outside, 62 degrees and very sunny, which is a very nice change from the rest of the week. It's going to be a wonderful Friday afternoon, so only 5 to 10 miles per hour wind and lots of sunshine, so make sure you take advantage of that. As we move into our 7-day forecast, you can see that tomorrow we'll have 62-degree high, but as we move into the weekend and even through Thursday, we're going to see a lot warmer temperatures. That's definitely going to be a precursor for the rest of the week. We'll be moving closer, you can see, with Tuesday and Wednesday into the 80s. So we're going to send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Katharine. I myself am looking forward to those sunny skies. Now, we had a big night here at FSU Weather because we had 5 people debut on the show tonight. Ayesha on the overview, Kendra with Local 1, Brandon and Ayesha on Desk 1, and Kate on Local 2, and Reuben right here with me on Desk 2. They all debuted for their first time here on FSU Weather, and a big well done, a hearty congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here. I really enjoyed it, and I hope I can do more shows in the future.
Yes, we are looking forward to increasing our numbers here at FSU Weather. And another thing we're looking forward to is that forecast.
Oh, that forecast, absolutely. Well, we're going to have to get through this weekend a little bit cooler this weekend, Friday and Saturday, with temperatures in the low 60s. We will see sunny skies for the first time in about a week. Going into next week, it will gradually begin to warm up, and we will see those 80-degree temperatures we were talking about. So a lot to look forward to in this forecast. About 77 on Monday and 78 on Tuesday. We will introduce a little bit of a rain chance, but that's nothing for us to worry about right now. You can like us on Facebook.com. You can follow us on Twitter. And as always, you can watch us anytime on livestream.com/FSU Weather.
Yep, we're really going to be increasing our social media presence. You can find all our shows on YouTube as well, any recorded show for the last few semesters. But thank you for tuning in this Thursday night. I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton.
And I'm student meteorologist Reuben Weiner. Have a great night, Tallahassee, and as always, go Noles.